How
Cheryl's got
about
lipstick.
I mean, we've had
Her
enough of
lips
this
all done up like a teenage
already.
Jezebel.
Oh, her lips, because I didn't put anything on my lips, because it's not that kind of podcast. Well, um,
I get that. Okay.
welcome back to the Slang of Ages podcast. This is season 7, and I'm very fortunate to have yeah, thank you for that, Susan. Two guests who have been on multiple seasons, have contributed vocals to songs, have bought my book, Toto the Band, Not the Dog, which is, of course, still for sale. Susan Frazier and Cheryl Frazier. Oh, there's a book. There you go, Susan. Cheryl, where's your book?
I can go get it.
That's all
It's
right, because we're not talking about Toto today.
on my coffee table because it's a coffee table book. Mine's on my coffee table.
But very good. So again, thank you both for coming back to Slave Ages podcast and kicking off or starting season 7.
Well,
Um,
thank you for having us. Right,
well,
sure.
it's good to have you. And I think the last time we spoke on the Slave Ages podcast, we talked about Luther Vandross. And there are a bunch of Luther Vandross albums I would want to talk about, but the one we picked, Never Too Much, is definitely one of my favorites. Anyway, before we get started though, let's have a little bit more banter here. What's going on with you two? What's new? What's exciting?
Nothing.
Hmm, okay, there we go. That's what kind of podcast I like. Jump right
Hey,
into it.
hey, it's
So,
here for nothing. I brought a new mug. I mean, what is this?
all right, that's
No, no.
really not
That's
good.
all
All
I
right.
got. Aldi.
So we are
Huh.
talking about Luther Vandross's Never Too Much, which was his first major release, released in December 1981.
Oh.
And I was just a little wee baby back in 1981.
Wait a minute. I thought it was released in August.
August?
Uh-oh,
Mhm.
somebody's trying to do some research. Well, that's
Well,
isn't that what we do?
that's what
No.
I do. What you do is make up facts.
Oh,
I,
whoa.
I think it was December 1981. Let me check my notes here. Never
Let me check my
too.
notes.
I'm looking at the singles. I'm not looking at. No, I'm wrong. You're right. Oh my God, I hate it when she's
Oh
right.
no,
The
wait a
first
minute. Down.
single
That
was
is recorded, right? That's recorded. He said he was wrong, and I was right.
Shut him down. Just shut the whole thing down.
the single was released in December 1981. The album was released August 12th, 1981. So please save your angry emails, letters, and carrier pigeons for later. We corrected that error. Susan, you were right. I'll say it
It's
online so
recorded for
everyone
history.
knows. Recorded
It's
for history. Yes, it was released in uh, August 12th, 1991. It's recorded April through July 1981.
mhm.
And there are a number of things that we talked about. What album did we talk about for Luther? I don't remember which one it was.
I don't know. Y'all keep picking
There's
Luther on
nothing
the
better than
podcast.
love was on it, and
we
it'll come, it'll come to me. But anyway, we talked a lot about the production of that album, and I think I made some comments about the synth drums that Yogi Horton was playing and some of the synthesizer sounds. This album to me sounds more like a late 70s, early
Oh,
80s album with mostly acoustic instruments, including acoustic drums. So let me go through some of the highlights about this album. It was released, like I mentioned, well, Susan mentioned, August 81. It was a top 20 Billboard album, made to number 19 on the Billboard album charts. It was
really?
number
mhm.
one R&B hip hop album, number one. Notice I didn't say black chart. It was
Thank God.
R&B charts, and it produced two
Oops, sorry.
wonderful singles. The hits "Never Too Much," which was the title track, of course, and "Don't You Know That," which
Don't you
was
know
the
that?
second single. Oh, no singing, please. Second
Oh.
single from the album. Um, and Luther produced the album, and he used a cast of characters which appear in a lot of his other albums, most notably Nate Adderley Jr. For keyboards and rhythm arrangements,
Oh,
George
really?
Wadenius, who is a guitarist out of Sweden, who's played with Steely Dan, Marcus Miller played bass on all but one track, I believe. And Marcus Miller was on every Luther Vandross album and produced or co-produced albums with Luther later, as well as did rhythm arrangements and played bass, like I mentioned. Um, Buddy Williams, who is a jazz drummer, appeared on most of the songs on the album. Crusher Bennett, Earl Crusher Bennett, played percussion, wonderful percussions out of New York. Again, another Steely Dan connection there. Bashiri Johnson, or Bash Johnson, as people call him, another percussionist used. And Paul Reiser did some string and horn arrangements. So a good cast of characters. I want to jump though, I guess, to the singers on the album, as well as Luther, obviously, lead and backing vocals and vocal arrangements. But you had the wonderful Tawatha Ag, who handled background vocals on most of the songs. Sissy Houston, who recently died,
Mm-hmm.
handled backing vocals in two songs. Yvonne Lewis, Sybil Thomas, handled backing vocals. One of my favorite vocalists, Brenda White King, was on two songs as well. And then Philip Ballou on backing vocals. And then there are a few more people here backing vocals. A lot of backing vocals, obviously. Norma Jean Wright on two songs. Michelle Cobbs, I'm not sure who she is, on two songs. Yvonne Lewis on one song. And I would be remiss if I did mention the great Fuzzy Thornton, who handled the vocal contracting, getting the vocalists in, and did backing vocals on two songs. And Fuzzy Thornton's still around, still very active. So
Great.
we got through that, and you guys haven't talked. Let's talk about songs.
Because
Uh,
you, as the podcaster, should giving the foundation,
The background and
I
all that.
just did that. I
backgrounds.
just did that. Thank you. So let's start with the first song, which is a title track called Never Too Much. And these songs were all written, except for one, by Luther Vandross. I think the album we talked about before,
What?
I'm not sure what that was. The album we talked about, the Luther album we talked about before, he had co-written a bunch of songs with Marcus Miller. And most of the songs were co-writes that he did. But Luther did all the writing for this album himself and kicks off with Never Too Much. So, Cheryl, we'll start with you about your thoughts about the title track. Hopefully, she did some research this time, unlike the last time we talked about Luther Vandross.
Um, Liked it. I mean, okay, we're gonna have this conversation again. I am, I don't have Luther in my on my playlist. If I'm doing on Spotify or one of them thingies, and it happens to pop up, I'll listen to it and I'll jam to it. But this isn't something that I was like, I'm in a Luther mode. So, basically, I'm just here for the witty repartee.
At least she's honest. But the question is, why are you here? For the witty
Before you
repartee.
ask, that's why I'm here.
So back in June of 2023, we talked about the album, which was Give Me the Reason. And Cheryl, if you haven't listened to the episode, please listen to it or watch it. Cheryl provided very little in terms of insights to that album. And the question which was asked was, why did she even bother showing up? Now, we have plenty of time to prepare for a discussion about Never Too Much. So you could have listened to the album, and
I
it's only
did.
7 songs.
I listened to it. I listened to it.
Look, I told her that today. I said, it's only 7 songs.
I listened to it. But it's just, it's Luther, and I appreciate his writing skills and his vocal skills, and yeah. But yeah, but I'm here because you invited me. I don't know why, but you invited me, so here I am.
Do you remember the first time you ever heard the song Never Too Much?
No, I don't.
Oh, good Lord.
It was a long
Make
time
something
ago.
up.
I mean, it was a long time ago. I believe I was in college, but yeah, back in them days. But yeah, I remember it. I mean, I remember back. Yeah, and I thought, yeah, okay, that sounds nice. It's got a nice beat, and you can dance to it.
Susan, Please help me out here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Never
sip
too
my tea while she talks.
Never Too Much is my all-time favorite song. Not just my all-time Luther, but my all-time favorite.
Wow.
I was in the ninth grade when it came out. So to this very day, whenever it comes on, I don't care what I'm doing or what's on, I will stop and turn it up loud because I love that song that much. I don't know why, I just do. But it's Luther, of course, but it's just my favorite song. That when it opens up, din, 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 it just this
Okay.
very day.
Susan, you missed something. And I agree. I don't remember when I first heard it, but I was really moved by the vocals are incredible, first of all. That
Mhm.
kind of staccato delivery he has and a great voice he has. But the first thing which jumps out at me about this song is that initial bass lick. Dun, 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 dun,
Isn't
dun.
it what I just
This
said?
is initial slide bass
It's the way it
part that
goes into.
Marcus Miller does in the
Mhm.
beginning, which is infectious. And then the whole group
Oh, you're right. You're right.
as with the drummer whose name I just mentioned, if you can't remember, Buddy Williams, Marcus Miller and Buddy Williams together are like that. But
Hmm.
that bass lick, not it's even before the lyrics, the
Comes
vocals
right
come
in.
in, is incredible.
It comes right in, and
Yep.
when you hear that, you know exactly what it is, and it's like, oh, that's
But
it.
when
I
you
do
heard it
love a
back,
good bass lick.
And that lit right there. Yeah.
but when you heard it back then, I mean, it was like it's obviously R&B, it's obviously good. It has everything that you will want. It has
Yep.
that amazing, well, we talk about the rhythm section, talk
Hmm.
about Williams and Marcus Miller. You had that amazing melodic guitar part by George Wendinius. You had touches of keyboard Fender Rhodes by Nate Adderley Jr. It just smokes. And then you have the voice which comes in, and he delivers the lyrics at a really rapid pace. It's not a rap, but it's a
I
really
can't feel
rapid
myself. I don't
pace.
want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my
And
love
then he,
fantasy. I, is that the begin? That's not the first verse. I think I messed up.
well, that's all right, Susan.
Oh, mute her.
Then there's this interaction between him and the backing singers. And I think on this song, let's see, who do you use on this song? It was a bunch of them. Sybil Thomas, Yvonne Lewis, Brenda White King, and Tawatha Agee were the backing vocalists. And it's just the sopranos, altos are great. And then it just bounces back and forth. And it
Back and
has
forth.
beautiful building synthesizer part, which just really works well. It's just a beautiful song. And it's a joyous song.
It
He's
really is.
sharing his love.
It really is. That's a classic. When you
It
think
is
of
a
Luther
classic.
Vandross, that's when the what I mean, of course there are, probably 10 more that are classics for him, but this is right up there. It's got a good beat and you can dance to it.
I said that already. Stop stealing
Oh,
my line.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he starts the album off the way it should be started off
Hmm.
because he starts off in a good tempo with a good tempo and an enthusiasm, which I
Yep,
absolutely love. So
I
there we
agree.
go. Good start to the album. And now we're cooking with gas. And the next song is Sugar and Spice, I Found Me a Girl. Another up-tempo song, about 4 minutes or so. So
Oh,
what do you think about that one? Sugar and Spice.
giving a thumbs down to Sugar and Spice. Are you kidding? Oh, why
Oh,
is she
geez.
here?
Why is she
Why is she here?
I
How'd she
here?
do
told
this?
you I was invited.
Susan, you go first for sure.
You go from one upbeat to another upbeat. Sugar and
Hmm.
Spice, and then you can hear the vocals, the backgrounds, are they mixing together? It's got a good beat, and you can dance to it.
Is
Now,
that all you
again,
have to
yeah.
contribute? Because I've already thrown that line out. Now you need to be more original.
Now I'm not. It's not what I'm not gonna say. It's not. I don't like. I do like the songs. That was my favorites. Um, it's just there. I mean, I like it, but it's just not like that wouldn't be one of the first songs I say when Luther Vandross classic.
Yeah.
But I do like it, but it's not yeah. Preston, Cheryl. She did like this.
I already told y'all.
Yeah, I gave it. She gave it thumbs down.
What do you not like about it?
It's just so basic, sugar and spice. It just didn't catch me. Didn't do anything for me. Didn't move me.
Didn't move you.
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't touch me right here.
Right.
Okay, so sure, that was really eloquent. Thank you. I will say that it is my least favorite song on the album.
See,
Not mine. Keep going. I'll tell you when we get to mine.
And the reason is, um, okay, I think the lyrics are a little trite. I think the music's excellent, actually. I think the playing, again, it's R&B, it's funk, has a great beat to it. Uh, and even the vocal arrangements are really good, but the lyrics themselves don't do anything for me.
yeah, that's what got me. I'm like, come on now, put something.
Ask you a question. I think I may have asked this before. What is it supposed to do for you?
Move you.
Evoke a
dance,
feeling.
feel something to move you, Susan. That's what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was a stupid question, but I'm not going to say that.
You feel it right here? Did you feel that song right here?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I did.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would. That was good, but not great. And then we hit this third song on the album, which is the last single, which reached the R&B charts at number 10.
You know
The
that.
Billboard also part of the Billboard singles chart.
That got me right here.
Don't you know?
Don't you know that?
Sure,
don't you know that?
You.
I liked it. It's smooth. It's just a smooth song. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. I like it.
That's that. The lyrics. It get you right here. And it's slow. It comes off those first two dances. It comes down, but it's a good come down.
And I like the lyrics. It says, without a doubt, you are my sweetest inspiration.
Don't you know that?
Don't you know that?
Don't you know that I love you? So, yeah, really, don't you know?
Really?
It is assertive, it's forceful. His vocals are, well, they're always, I can't say incredible, it's always incredible, but they really work here. And then the kind of staccato delivery by the backing singers, and this was the third track, so who sang on this? Philip Balou was on this one, and he was the only one who participated in backing vocals besides Luther. So the backing vocals really work really well here. I love the guitar interplay between George Wendinius and Steve Love, Steve Love played on, I think, three or four songs as well as the guitars. That works really well. But there's another element which I think really works in this song and even on the album. I think it's on two of the songs, and that is the string arrangement, which was done by the great Paul Reiser, who's done a lot of great string arrangements and horn arrangements for R&B artists. And here is just it's kind of an over the top string arrangement. These stabs of strings, but it really works with the song. I love the song, everything about the song. I love the production.
Love it.
And it's kind of, I was almost about to say old school, but it's not old school because it was the 80s.
Yeah, we'll say it's old. Somebody now would say it was old
Now, exactly.
But now we're like, that's what it was back then, because that's what it's supposed to have been. And that's perfection.
Perfection. Yes. And it leads us to the fourth song, which is I've Been Working.
Yeah, I love this song.
Been working.
Okay, sure, you can start then.
I like the beat and the way the background and it
Hmm.
plays with the lead.
Hmm.
I like that. I just I just like the the theme of it. I've been working, been all day working.
Mhm.
It's another way is jazzy, and you could just it's. I agree with
And
Cheryl.
it's got a great bass to it. I like the bass.
Mhm.
He likes the
I
bass.
like to
Likes the
hear like
bass.
how that bass and the plays in there. Yeah.
Mhm. Why is
How
he laughing?
that sound?
I think she's just making up stuff now at this point. She's like,
She
I don't
is
know what
not.
song this is, but it had a good bass on it.
It's got a good beat. You can dance to it.
Oh, I've been working. We talked about this is if we had the record, it's a side one, an inside one.
Mhm.
And it is I think it's much better than Sugar and Spice.
It,
All everything's better than
it's
sugar.
better than Sugar Spice. Hmm.
But I what I love about the song, first of all, I love the rhythm section, and
Hmm.
Luther's albums have great rhythm sections because you have Marcus Miller. But second of all, it has this nice compact synthesizer solo by Ed Walsh. Ed's I think he's still around. He was synthesizer programmer and player out of New York. And it's one of the few solo synthesizer solos on this album. I think it's maybe the only one. And it's just
Mm.
compact and it fits really good with the guitars and bass. It is a strong song. Um, and it's upbeat, but not fast. It's a
Right.
good inside one. And helps us jump into side two where we go to the ballad, She's a Super Lady. She's a super lady. And it starts, are you kidding me? I love this song because I love that kind of lead bass, prominent bass figure it has. It has a great feel to it. But you two aren't convinced?
Mhm.
Don't remember it?
Not here,
And-
not here, not here. I remember it.
Yeah, I remember. I just didn't
I
like
just
it.
didn't like it. That would be, the one I skip on my 8 track.
Hmm. You said eight track
Can you
cassette, not 8 track cassette.
Well, it could have been an 8 track, and maybe it was the 80s, right?
on my walk Discman? This
Yeah, but no, I would skip that
yeah, skip that.
Okay, so I'll say something which may or may not be controversial. It's my
one.
podcast.
Uh-oh.
I have questions about Luther singing about women. Does that what does that make sense or should I be more specific?
Well, back no, because there is always the idea that Luther was gay, but how many what best-selling artist sings about he my Superman? What at the
Now
what?
let's remember this was his debut album, so he wasn't known like that then. Even when he was with Change, was it Change?
Yeah, change.
So even yeah, when he
Who
was
was
with
yeah, Jeffrey
Change,
Osborne was with. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
so we didn't know a lot about him then. So if you just stick to this album and say that, like no, so you can't say that about him singing with this album. And even when you found out later on, I didn't care. Who
it didn't
cared?
matter. Hmm.
Didn't matter.
The music was good, except for
This
Sugar
song.
and this one. But and then at this point, it's like, who cares? Even like artists like Michelle and Gail, it, Michelle and the Gail cello, she will sing about women, a female relationship. She has those types of songs, and but back when Luther was doing this, when he started, would you come up with a debut album for mass appeal with with
1981.
something, with
Yeah.
So Cheryl did contribute something to this podcast, apparently.
why I'm here, my witty repartee.
I mean, who were his contemporaries back then? Was it Jeffrey Osborne, Teddy Pendergrass, those kind of people?
Yes,
Mhm.
So I
yes,
guess you would have, yeah. I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I understand that.
You know,
Okay.
everybody wants a good love song,
And he created
and
massive amounts of good love songs. So
he put them out there.
I don't care what he was, whatever. I will always love him. I will always love his songs.
I'm not saying you shouldn't love him.
No, I'm just saying for me, for me, Christine.
And for plenty of other people, it's like,
Right.
hey, it's Luther.
It's
He can,
Luther.
he can sing about a toilet, and
I don't know about that.
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know about a toilet.
he puts few rests up in there in the toilet.
Whoa.
Okay, that means it's time to move on to the next song, which is You Stop Loving Me.
You
Oh,
stop
gee.
loving.
A middle of the road ballad. I wrote in my notes. I love that call and response from the backing singers. Oh my God. I love the song.
Love the song.
I like, okay.
Okay, we got a thumbs up from Cheryl. Keeping in
She's
mind that
going
the
like this.
podcast
She's
is
going like
mostly
this.
audio, but I'm not sure what the
Yes.
hell that is. So that one features Tawatha AG as well on backing vocals. She's kind of the female spoil here, and Wally Balu helps out in terms of the male vocals as well, and Luther on backing, and of course lead vocals. Steve Love helps out on guitar. He's the only guitarist on that. Actually, George Woodenius didn't play on it. Um, really strong playing. Again, the rhythm section is unstoppable anyway. But I love the call and response vocals.
Mhm.
I just love it. And it's not, I mean, when we talked about the other album we talked about in the first podcast, we talked about
I should
the
remember which one that was.
I have it written down, but we talked about a lot of the songs which had a really strong vocal choir feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
That was, by the way, Give Me the Reason. This album, he's a little bit more selective in terms of how he employs a backing vocalist. And it's only two, well, three if you count Luther, because he's doing backing too. I love the song.
I
What
love
do
the
you think?
song.
I like it. Yes.
Okay. That's a lot of discussion there.
You stop
We don't have to
loving.
drag this out. It's a 30-minute podcast, so that's all right.
You stop loving me.
Why'd you do that?
Now, the one thing that one commonality we talked about when we talked about Give Me the Reason was there are a lot of, I think every Luther Vandross album that I'm aware of has at least one cover. I mean, he does mostly originals. I would say
Mhm,
90% of song albums are originals.
mhm.
He did a cover album, I believe. But in this case, his first album, he did one cover. He did the song A House Is Not a Home.
Yes.
Which,
Dionne Warwick. Burt
yes,
Bacharach.
Oh,
Burt Bacharach, Hal David written. Dionne Warwick made it famous. I'm sure other people have covered
he
it.
made it famous-er.
Not a word. Um, and he did make it more famous. It was not released as a single though, but it is a timeless
Timeless,
of this song. So
classic.
did you listen to this? What do you think?
Now
First,
that's a right here song. That's right here.
that's right here, all up in
Why?
here.
Why?
Because
Now that yeah, because that evokes a lot of feeling. It's like this just isn't really unless you're here, then this just there's just it's just nothing. This room is still a room, but yeah, I'm
and
just without you.
the way it starts off, doom 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 doom. It's like
Yeah, starts off with that bass.
doo, 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 doo. It's just it's classic, classic.
And I
And
love
if you go and listen to Dion's song, and then listen to he just turned it around.
there's a stark difference in style because she
Stark
did that
difference.
back in the 60s?
Yeah.
In the 60s. So, at that time, her version with her voice was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you couldn't, there was no bad thing to say about it. She
Mhm.
sang it in a Dion way.
Yeah,
And I like that. I like that version.
I did too.
Um,
But nobody can come now and do that song over again.
right.
After he put his spin on it, nobody can come and do that now. Because that what he did was just classic.
Hmm. Um,
I remember seeing a video of him was of Dion talking about when she first because he had called her and told her he was doing it because they were friends. And she
mhm.
said he just ruined it. Said I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
He just did
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, they were very close
They were
friends.
very close.
Um, and to your point, Cheryl and Susan, to your point as well, took a classic song, rearranged it, did it for a male voice,
Mm-hmm.
and blew the doors off the place. It's an amazing, amazing version of the song. Um, it's an amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm not sure what else you can say about this song. It's just,
Yeah, just
it is amazing, and the fact that it's on his debut album. So he starts off on a really high note with the title
mm-hmm.
song, "Never Too
Mm-hmm.
Late." Ends with a classic R&B song, which eclipses the original. And there are not many people who can eclipse Dionne Warwick. I mean, she had a great voice. She still has a very good voice.
Yes, she
But
does.
Mm-hmm.
the house is not a home is just it's amazing here. Um,
Amazing.
and it was released as an R&B single, didn't make the pop charts, did make the R&B charts. Essence magazine said it's one of the top 25 best slow jams of all time.
All time. All time.
Boom.
Boom.
Uh,
Boom.
I couldn't imagine a concert with Luther where he didn't sing that song. I'm sure he sang it. It was every concert, even though it wasn't a major hit, but
Mhm.
it is amazing. Yeah. So in terms of the players, we talked about most of them because most of them make a reappearance on this song as well and do a great job. And there are no backing vocals on the song. It's all Luther.
All Luther.
Um, there are some strings. Again, you have Paul Reiser. Oh, actually, there aren't strings or no horns, no strings. There are horns and strings actually by Leon Pendarvis, who's a very famous arranger and keyboard player. He did the string arrangements and horn arrangements for the song. And the song builds and builds and builds. And that last verse, when he delivers that, I mean, I'm not going to even try to do that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
This is,
because even in the beginning, the way he slides and he just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
start singing, he just kind of slides into that song and builds it
Mm-hmm.
there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then he starts with the vocals and then with the words, and it's just, whew, he built it up. He really built that song up.
yeah, the arrangement's wonderful. The vocal delivery is wonderful. The playing is wonderful. Um, there's not a bad thing about this song, and
Not,
it's a great arc of an album for
it's not.
especially a debut album, which is about 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes long.
And to end the album with that song is just again classic. Nobody ever do it that song again because you they will never touch. Well, first of all, nobody could sing it like that.
No
I
one
don't
can
think
sing it like
anybody
that.
was that could sing it like that.
Yep.
And then if they did, they would do it in injustice because it can't be done like that.
Yep. I agree. So that's the last song on the album. Luther's first album. He goes on to, of course, release Forever for Always for Love in
Mhm.
1982, which I'm not a big fan of. Busybody,
Now,
1982,
see,
which I
see,
absolutely love.
Stop.
What?
How can you not? I don't even
uh-oh.
know what to say. I don't even.
Didn't
But
write any great.
uh,
What song from the album do you remember? I don't remember any of these.
you just said the forever for always, forever for always. Oh, never mind. Just keep on
But you
going.
know, but the thing is with that, since we're off the topic, I love the way Layla Hathaway sings. I think she sang it better than Luther.
Yes, yeah. That's
Yeah.
not important right now. We're not talking about that.
Okay, now back to where we were. I was just adding a little
Busybody.
witty repartee.
Thank you for adding something. Busybody, his 1983 album, I absolutely love. And that may be my favorite or second favorite Luther album. I love Busybody. The Night I Fell in Love, another great album. Give Me the Reason, which has already been on the
The
Slang of Ages
reason to
podcast, a
move.
great album. Any Love, 1988, love that album. Another
Love that
strong.
album. Love
Mhm.
that album.
Okay, I like that one.
Okay. Power of Love, 1991. Not a big fan of.
Mm,
For kind of forgettable.
mm.
Um,
1983, Never Let Me Go. Don't even remember that one.
yeah,
Mm. What was on that?
Never Let Me
I'm
Go. Well, let's see. God, he wrote a lot of stuff too. Little Miracles, Heaven Knows. How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees? Jesus Christ. Ugh, sorry. Um, and song Never Let Me Go. So not exactly a great album. Then after that, Songs, 1994, which is I think a cover album.
Okay.
Christmas, this is Christmas, 1995. Actually, a very good Christmas album. Your Secret Love, 1996. Don't remember it. Uh,
yes, I
I
remember.
Know, 1998. Don't remember it.
What was that again?
I Know, 1998.
Oh,
I
I don't
remember
know.
that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Self-titled album, Luther Vandross, 2001. Don't remember that.
Mm-mm.
The Grammy Award winning Dance with My Father
Everybody knows that.
album, 2003. So a wonderful legacy for artists who died too soon. Um, there is no Luther Vandross box set yet, but there is the movie, which I have not seen. So I'm going to try to see that next few months.
I
And
kept trying to get to see it this weekend, but didn't make it.
so, yeah, you should have seen it before the podcast.
Well, you
So,
should have. You didn't see it before the podcast. So what are you talking about?
anything else you would like to add? I'll start with Susan.
Um, no, I just one of my favorite albums beside that one song I don't like. Um, I would play it over, and even when I went back and listened to it again, I played it like 3 times and skipped that song I don't like. Um,
See? On your Walkman.
right on my Walkman.
Walkman.
But yeah, that's Never Too Much is my favorite song of all time. Classic.
Okay,
Luther.
thank you,
It's
Susan.
Luther.
Appreciate you being here, Cheryl. Anything?
I got nothing.
Well, I want to thank Susan, Cheryl, Frazier for being on the Slang of Ages podcast again. I always come back to you guys for R&B stuff, especially. I know I'm talking to Monica in the episode, which may air before this episode, actually. She may get the first episode of the season. But I will definitely come back to you two again because I have another few albums on my list that I want to cover with you. And maybe Cheryl actually will listen to them before she gets on the podcast.
As long as it's not Luther, can you give him a rest?
Okay. All right. Yes. Can I cut that out of the podcast? Yeah, I think you probably can. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
never
We will.
mind. I'm sorry.
Too late.
That's fine.
Say in the universe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all for being on this thing. Thank you for being on Slanger's podcast. Thank you for the listeners out there who are listening to this rambling episode where we talk about Luther Vandross again. And I will see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.